4's Company, 1025, 1063, The Game. We are brought to you by LPL Financial Nashville and Patrick Conger. Financial planning for tomorrow so that you can enjoy today. Happy Saturday, Nashville. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Great start to the show. Connor almost fell over in his chair.
Ate it and just fell backwards.
But you're okay.
Yeah, well, feels like deja vu.
It is.
Feels like we were
yes.
just here.
We were the last live show on the air, and we are back again.
Tell a friend.
Putting in the work.
If you missed us yesterday, we were on for Jared, so you can go find that on the Stillman & Company podcast. Talked a lot of Titans yesterday. We're not going to talk a ton of Titans today. We'll touch on it a little bit here in the next segment, but, you know, I feel like we said our piece on rookie minicamp.
What is wrong with this chair, man?
It's just like that. You gotta like sit front.
I gotta like hunch over.
Yeah,
and you gotta sit the front of the chair.
This is why we give this chair to D Mace.
He likes it.
People watching
I
the
don't like
stream need to keep an eye on Connor and make sure he doesn't just disappear out of the frame.
I'm falling apart here. I'm falling back in the chair. My laptop's still bugging on me. It's been rough. It's been a rough go of things lately.
We apologize. At least your birthday's coming up.
That is true.
Indeed.
This is the last show
yes,
as I am illegal.
The next show of 4's Company,
I'm a legal citizen.
Will be 21.
I should clarify. I'm legal in this country.
Connor is a U.S. American.
No one call ICE on me.
Do you have your real ID?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Do you have the star?
don't try and fly somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I can't get it until it expires. Right?
I wouldn't get it until you turn 21 because you
Yeah.
got to get the over 21 one.
Yeah.
I
So,
heard
yeah.
that you could fly without the real ID.
But you got to go through like an extra 30-minute screening or something.
No,
like
you have
that.
to bring your actual passport.
Right.
with
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can have your passport.
I do
but-
not have a passport. I wait. I don't know. Let's call my mom and
No,
ask her.
let's not.
Rick Newt, chime in on the text line.
Well, he's been doing that
just like
lately,
yesterday.
so.
615-737-1025. Anyway.
Yes, this is really Rick.
Yeah, I honestly didn't believe it was. I thought it was Joe
No.
at first. But he did get your dad's name right, so maybe that was...
Well, it's because he put it down in parentheses. He had to clarify.
Great guy. Great guy, by the way.
Yeah, he's gotten to the point where we're going way off track to start the show, but I don't really care.
like we always do.
He's gotten to the point where I can't watch anything with him anymore because within 10 minutes of us sitting down,
It's what happens. My
I
dad
mean,
does that all the time.
it drives me crazy. I got mad last night. I was like, dude, I'm trying to watch this and you're like snoring. So
My dad fell asleep. I always talk about the worst moment of my sports fan life was David Ortiz hitting the grand slam in game 2 of the ALCS in
He was asleep through
2013.
that?
My dad was asleep and I just sat there in silence staring at the TV. So yeah, it shows you huge game. My dad still conked out. Anyway, it'll be a fun show today. We're going to talk some Titans, talk some Preds. We'll talk some baseball. Vols beating Vandy in game 1 in what was a tight one in Knoxville yesterday. Game 2 coming up later on today, right here on 1025 The Game. But first, let's get into our headlines. Connor Newt, why don't you lead us off?
Well, don't look now. St. Louis Cardinals have won 6 in a row.
Hey, yo.
Now they have only beaten one good team in that 6-game stretch, but 6 games that are wins. They've beat the Mets twice in the same day. It was a doubleheader. Swept the Pirates, which Paul Skeens is now 0-5 as a starter against the St. Louis Cardinals.
And you got Derek Shelton fired.
And we did, yes.
How about that?
And then Eric Fetty last night throws a complete game shutout against the Washington Nationals, and they win 10-0. So they're doing the thing where I'm starting to get my hopes up again, only to be crushed here shortly when we realize, oh yeah, they're not that good of a team. They're just playing bad teams.
David James tried to get me on the board of like, hey, Cardinals, 5 in a row. Aren't you getting excited? I'm like, this team has broken my heart so many times. I'm not getting invested. Not doing it.
No, don't do it.
It's still May, but every game counts the same. 6 in a row is
I mean, a win's a win.
A win is a win. And it's one of 162 stacking wins for the St. Louis Cardinals over there.
Get ready to sign that extension, Ollie Marmol.
Please.
Get ready.
I was already yesterday watching the Tigers game to come in here and talk about Tarek Skubal's perfect game because he was through 5, and I thought he looked good enough to do it. And he even said post game that he thought he might have been good enough to do it. But he didn't, so we won't talk about that. I do want to talk about Wednesday night, Blacksburg, Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
One of the coolest moments ever. My parents were there. I obviously couldn't make it out there, but my dad said it was one of the best nights of his life. Like, seeing Metallica come into Lane Stadium, first concert ever played in Lane Stadium, by the way.
Ever?
Wow.
That's an old stadium, too.
Yeah.
Semi.
Probably 50 years. Yeah. I mean, they made some renovations a while back, but yeah, first concert ever played in Lane Stadium. And Metallica came out to the recording of Enter Sandman, whole stadium's jumping, registers on the Richter scale. And then they finish with Enter Sandman, and again, registers on the Richter scale.
It's ridiculous.
As, 60, 70,000 people sing along. So I thought that was really cool. There are rumors that Enter Sandman is going to be in the new college football game.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out. And may even be like the intro screen. So, the Hokies may
We're
be
getting a trailer here shortly.
Yes, within probably the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The Hokies may be horrible at football, but we have Enter Sandman. And I thought that was one of the cooler moments the Hokies have had in the last couple of years, which was, getting Metallica out there. First concert ever, and the earth shook for Enter Sandman.
Just hearing that, like, on Twitter was electric.
It was awesome. The videos were really cool.
I'm not even a huge Metallica guy. Like, I like some of their songs, but I would absolutely go to that concert.
Well, it's funny. They went straight from here to Blacksburg.
Yeah.
They were here for 2 nights last weekend.
I didn't know they were going.
And then went to Blacksburg.
I didn't know they were going. And then I saw the videos. I was like, wow, that's really cool. How'd they get there so fast?
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought it was cool. I had a lot of friends and family there, and they said it was awesome. Videos were cool.
I think that concert, to me, we're talking about college football, the video game, I think that was the peace treaty. I think that was the nail in the coffin. You know what? We're going to confirm it without confirming it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they're doing like a competition of some sort.
Yeah. Too. It was like a certain band can send in their best Metallica cover, like marching band can send in a Metallica cover and get featured in the game or something like that. Really? So I don't know.
Is Father Ryan doing it again this year?
I don't know. I know we're pretty known for doing stuff like that. We have a really good band. Just putting that out there.
They're, correct me if I'm wrong, they're the drum line.
Yeah.
In the menu.
They are the drum line of the menu. I believe in 2013, Thanksgiving parade. Yours truly. I wasn't in it, but I was a part of.
Not yours truly.
I wasn't there.
Truly. I was watching on TV, but
my high school was a part of the Thanksgiving parade, which is awesome. I am a big fan of our band.
I remember
that. Job.
I do remember that because I was at St. Henry's.
I believe it was 2013. Hopefully
it was
2012. Yeah, around that time. But they were in college football video game last year. They were in like the menu drums.
Right. Yeah.
Stuff, which is cool.
The drums that get imprinted into your brain.
Yeah.
That I hear right now.
Yeah.
So every time you're listening to that, think of me.
Love it.
Think of my high school that I went
I'll
to.
think of the undefeated streak I had against you.
That's all right.
Football.
That's all right.
Jake Wallman, good morning. What is your headline?
So you're telling me that Father Ryan does the drums on the main menu of the college football 2025 game?
You got that right.
That's incredible.
We can stop talking about Father Ryan now.
Yeah. Just, shout out.
My headline, we're going to go to Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
No. I don't want to talk about her anymore.
This is the only time that I'm going to bring it up in the show. So the report came out yesterday from Yahoo that Jordan Hudson was banned from the athletic center at UNC. And then I heard yesterday that the report was false.
Yeah,
and
North Carolina disputed that.
Yeah, North Carolina disputed it, saying that she is not banned. And it just got me thinking, like, how bad is the situation for somebody to come up with a non-story for them, like, for this to be a topic? I mean, like, it's got to be worse than we all think it is, right?
I think I saw another report. I think it was Pablo Torre too, who said like somebody in the UNC program said she is the worst person they've ever met in their life, or something like that.
I mean, I would want to
That's
be
bad.
her.
Like, you got to think about that. The toxicity that radiates off of that.
I mean, it's clearly all about her. I'm not here to judge her character, but I mean, I'm tired of talking about this. I want to talk about actual North Carolina football, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But
what is it? September 1st, they take on TCU.
Yes, yeah, that's their opener. Here is the quote from Pablo Torre on the Dan Patrick Show. One person said, "She is the worst person I've ever dealt with on earth, and I've dealt with actual sociopaths."
Wow.
So
Wow.
if that is the state of what's going on at North Carolina,
Well,
I have a feeling the Bill Belichick era is not going to last very long.
I don't think
in
it was
Chapel
going to
Hill.
last. I don't
June
think it's gonna
1st
last
is a
long.
really important day because that's when he can walk away for just $1 million.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think he'll walk away.
Well, I think North Carolina can get
I
rid
think
of
they'll
him for
say,
just $1 million
we'll
too.
see ya.
Well, then also, did you see what his the quote from his alleged family member saying that it could this whole relationship with Jordan Hudson could really tarnish his legacy and everything that he's built?
Yeah.
I don't know if I go that far.
I mean, I still think he's going to be remembered as the greatest NFL coach of all time. But how are we going to remember him? You kind of remember people for the last thing that they did. Like Aaron Rodgers, I think, has kind of tarnished his legacy
Oh, yeah.
with the last couple of years. I think Bill Belichick, I think there's going to be a little caveat when it comes to how he's remembered.
I mean, I think it'll be like a footnote. We'll be like, hey, remember that one time Bill Belichick tried to coach a college team with that crazy
With
woman?
a 24-year-old or whatever she is.
Yeah. I mean, well, look at her track record. Her last boyfriend was like 62.
64. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently she's gained $9 million in real estate or something over the last few months. So
what I need.
Nick Frazier, wrap us
Yes.
up with your headline and our question of the day.
All right. So my headline today actually happened this morning around 5 a.m. 5:15.
Oh, yeah. You know where we're going here.
Hear this. This is my NRL
I can't
minute
wait.
of the week. Okay. It was the North Queensland Cowboys versus the Penrith Panthers that are the 4-time defending
About to eat it,
NRL
sorry.
champions. Okay. They went down to golden point, which is essentially sudden death. Whoever scores, wins
The Golden
game.
Point Warriors.
Yeah, well, you can say it that way if you want. The game was tied 30-30. They went to double golden point because Scott Drinkwater, he's a lefty kicker.
Scott Drinkwater.
Drinkwater, yep, that's his name.
Oh, I thought you were just describing Scott.
No.
Drink water.
No.
Jake Lyman drank water today, too.
He did.
And black coffee.
Scott Drinkwater, he tends to take the kicks for the Cowboys, and he's a lefty kicker. So every time the Cowboys would be in position to kick it, they'd always position the ball on the right side of the field.
Oh, Jerry.
Or excuse me, the left side of the field. And so like when you kick it, normally the ball kind of curves at an angle, and he wasn't able to put it through the uprights. And it always tended to go the wrong way. The cool thing about this game is that when it was in the last minute of the second golden point, Nathan Cleary, probably the best NRL player of all time, he takes the kicks for Penrith. And so Penrith was tossing the ball back and forth, and they got it right to the middle of the field. And sure enough, the Cowboys come out of nowhere and just block the kick. It was probably the coolest thing ever. And then they end up calling a penalty on it. And the Cowboys said, you know what? We're going to challenge this, a captain's challenge. And they won the challenge, which was pretty cool. So then the game ended in a tie. And it was probably the most electric thing ever.
Wow.
They went a full
I'm
100.
speechless.
They
Yeah,
went
I
a
got
full,
nothing.
I think 95 minutes is what it was.
I have nothing to say, mainly because
And-
I didn't follow a word you said. But
And to add on to all this, the NRL is expanding. They're adding an expansion team.
Oh,
This will be number 18. It is the Perth Perth Bears. Excuse me.
I might have to move to the Perth Bears. The Manly Sea Eagles just aren't.
you don't
aren't
hear
doing it for
anything
me.
about them.
I know.
Yeah.
So they're just not a big market.
I've struggled for too long being a Manly Sea Eagle fan.
Here's the thing: Dally Cherry Evans is leaving after the season
From
and-
Manly.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
it's-
I'm leaving with
They
him.
should sign Scott Drinkwater.
Yes.
I don't know about that. Scott, he has to go back to the drawing board practice wise. I think his kicks are not great. I'm gonna be honest with you.
He's
His
getting-
selection of kicks are not great.
He's getting DFA'd. Is that what we're?
No, he's still under contract, but I'm just saying in general. Other thing I wanted to add about the Bears that are the expansion team, it'll be the 18th team. So no longer NRL will not have a bye week for each team going into next season or 2027. This will take place in 2027. The Bears were a team that were established way back in the NRL, probably around like 88, 89. And then they disbanded in 98, I believe.
Wow.
Because they didn't have the money to support the funds for the team.
And then along came Greg Pogue. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, yeah, that's my NRL minute update or whatever you want to call it. That's my headline.
Joe would
Well
have laughed
done.
at that.
Thank you.
Well done. What is our question of the day today, Nick Frazier?
So I was thinking about this when you guys told me I had the question the other day.
about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
It's in the grid at least Friday night every single time.
yeah.
so.
I should probably check.
This is on you.
Yeah, it is on me. Now I'm curious to know where everybody would like to go during the summer when it comes to sports stuff, because there's not a lot of real main event sports going on. So where is your one vacation destination that involves a sporting event?
Okay. I like it. Where's your summer sports vacation going to take you? Let us know. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. You can text or call. We'll give our answers at 10 o'clock, and our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We are off and running on this Saturday morning. 4's company. When we come back, we'll get a little bit into the Titans. We talked a lot about it yesterday, but we'll talk a little more about rookie minicamp and what we expect to see from Cam Ward today after he took the field for the first time wearing a Titans uniform yesterday. This is 4's company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. There we go. Gonna make me start jumping in the studio.
Don't vomit.
I won't.
You don't have any food in you.
I don't. Doing a water
There's
fast.
donuts in the kitchen.
We're
You're
staying
a
strong.
horrible person. Why would you do such a thing?
Yeah, I mean, you're lucky I restrained myself last night from taking a picture of my dinner and just sending it to you. With
Why'd
no
you
con-
say I can't hear you? What?
What?
Yeah, I'm doing a
That's my villain origin story. A couple years ago, I gave up Zaxby's for Lent, and one of my friends sent my number out to like 20 different people.
and every time they
And-
got Zaxby's.
No, in like the span of 10 minutes, I got 20 different numbers just taking a picture of a Zax snack combo.
No.
It was pure evil.
Yeah, for the I mean, no one out there knows. I'm doing a 48-hour water fast right now. I'm about halfway done, so got to stay strong.
Has my full support.
There are donuts in the break room, but I got to stay strong. Be sure
Yeah.
to tune into 93.3 Totally Hits Totally Nashville tonight as the Nashville Cats take on the Albany Firebirds.
Let's go.
Pre-game at 5:30, kick at 6. Coverage also available on the Totally Hits 93.3 app and at totallyhitsnashville.com. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you here on 4's Company. We're going to have like a 5-minute segment here on the Titans.
Fine by me.
If you want to hear more of our Titans thoughts, we talked about it for 2 hours yesterday. So you can find that on the Stillman and Company podcast.
In depth.
In depth, we went into everything. We talked about Cam Ward. We talked about the receivers. Talked about Femi Oladejo. Secondary, a good amount.
Mhm.
Right now, I mean, I think I just want to talk about the little things that we saw yesterday. We're going to get more today. A little afternoon, they're going to have an open hour of rookie minicamp practice that the press is going to be able to see. We'll probably get some good clips on Twitter. But the Titans put out a little teaser yesterday. We got to see Cam Ward hitting Xavier Restrepo on a
video
slant.
that clearly was not sped up whatsoever.
It was slowed down there for a second, actually.
It's hilarious.
But there were 2 plays that they put out there of Xavier Restrepo that we talked about him yesterday. I think there's a decent chance he makes this team.
I think he's making the team. Yeah, in fact, I guarantee he makes
Wow,
the team.
you're going guarantee in May.
I'll guarantee. Where's Ian? Ian, write it down.
Yeah, Ian, write this one down.
Spicy take Saturday.
I mean, I'm not ready to guarantee it off of 2 5-second clips on Twitter. But you look at the Titans wide receiver room right now. I think you got, I would say 5 locks in there. Ridley, Jefferson, Lockett, and then your 2 4th-round picks, DK and Iamaner. You're not going to cut those guys. Unless they're Des Fitzpatrick, you're not cutting those guys after picking them in the 4th round.
Des.
So you
Could have had Amon-Ra.
that was another one that I was begging them to take Amon-Ra St. Brown. Anyway, you probably got 2 spots at wide receiver. I think they'll keep 7. Bryce Oliver, depends on what he does in camp, but I think he's got a decent shot at getting one of those spots. Traylon Burks, I don't know.
I think it's done.
I think it's going to be a Caleb Farley situation like last year where they're going to give him an opportunity in camp, but he's not getting any more special treatment because he was a 1st-round pick.
I mean, they've basically confirmed if he does make the team, they're not picking up his 5th-year option.
No, yeah. I mean, there'd be no reason to.
Yeah.
This is his 4th year. Yeah, he's done after this year.
Yeah.
I believe even Chad Brinker was asked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
They said we're still working through these things,
I
but
think it
yeah,
was actually TD
probably
that
not.
asked him that. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be on the team, but there's still an outside shot. I think that might end up being what it comes down to is Oliver, Burks, and Restrepo fighting for 2 spots. Maybe 1 if they only keep 6.
I think Restrepo's getting in, man.
Returner is going to be a big thing. And I know Restrepo took returns in college. I don't know if he's fast enough to
No.
return in the NFL.
DK.
DK could be a returner, but DVD was going through it yesterday, and like he wasn't a good returner. He returned for Florida, but he averaged like 11 yards per punt return and fumbled 3 times.
Oh,
So,
he'll fit right in.
but maybe that's what the Titans need because the Titans have had guys who are like seasoned returners. Adoree Jackson, Kyle Phillips. We're supposed to come in and immediately be
Jaquan Jackson.
elite. Yeah, Jaquan Jackson and be elite returners, and all of them were horrible. So maybe DK being average at best in college, he can come in here and actually be a good returner.
Yeah, and also too, you got to look at how the Titans really drafted. They drafted for players that are always on the field. They drafted for availability, and a lot of these players too have the combination of being good football players, along with their availability. Same thing they did in free agency. They got a lot of guys with availability. If you have guys, let's see how many times I can say this in a span of 30 seconds. If you have guys that are available and are good at football and you can make them versatile, then that's what you need. That's the baseline of what you need going forward for the future of this franchise.
Hash mark to hash mark, goal line to goal line.
You got that right. X's and O's, hash mark to hash mark, goal line to goal line. We're out there playing.
It's a game of
football.
inches, baby.
It is a game of inches.
I think the wide receiver room is probably the most interesting camp battle as we head towards July and August.
What about the QB battle they're trying to push on
Yeah,
us?
the QB competition. Everyone's going to get equal reps. How hilarious would it be if Cam Ward and Tim Boyle are taking the same amount of snaps in training camp? Like, there's just absolutely no chance.
That would be bad.
That would be such a bad look.
That would be bad. Like, to the point where you're thinking
there's no chance it happens. They're just saying this to not give him the job. The Commanders did the same thing with Jaden Daniels last year. They said, "Oh, it's an open competition." Jaden Daniels was always going to be the starting quarterback. I think receiver, the back end at wide receiver is going to be interesting. Even the top at wide receiver, like, can Iamaner become a starter right off the top? That's going to be a battle. Running back 3, probably going to be a big battle with Mullings and Julius Chestnut.
Chestnut's inevitable, dude.
He's always going to be
He's like the
there.
new Mason Kinsey.
Yeah, he's never going to leave.
It's a good thing to have. I'm going to be honest. That's a good thing to have going forward.
Where is Mason Kinsey?
I think
He's here.
still here.
Oh, he'll be on the practice squad.
It's
Don't worry.
the Simpsons gif that he always posts of them throwing him out, and then he ends up right behind him.
Did you guys see that grid the other day? It was on Titans Twitter or something.
I know what you're talking about. Jake Thompson, I
fans
believe.
love him. Bad player.
Yeah.
And Mason Kinsey's picture was in the grid.
Yeah.
Right underneath.
I really wanted Nick
bless his
Westbrook Akine to get that average player.
No,
but
they
fans
put
love him.
Marcus in there.
Yeah.
It was fans love him. Good player. Was that Derrick Henry?
Steve McNair.
Steve
Bruce
McNair.
McNair.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And then it was Marcus was average player loved by fans, and they went with Mason Kinsey for bad player loved by fans. Did you see Jared quote tweeted when they asked for who is an objectively bad player who's
Chigakonkwo.
loved by fans? He said Chigakonkwo. Chig is not objectively bad. I would say Chig is average.
Yeah. Serviceable.
And
I wouldn't even say that.
we did get the text, or was it on the YouTube chat yesterday?
was.
Where it was like Jared Chig Stillman taking vacations during the offseason. He better come back with A+ takes. Love it. That's so funny.
What if he does? What if he comes back and he's
and
like,
just like fires them off one by one?
yeah, and they're like, every single one of them hits,
Yeah.
and everyone agrees with them.
I love that Jared guaranteed that Cam Ward was going to be the number 1 pick in March, like right when we started
knew.
saying it. And then he spent a month talking about trade packages that the Titans could take for Cam Ward. I'm like,
Where's the credit here?
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
We were the ones that started. Cam Ward is going to be the number
Right.
1 pick.
This guy right here to my
Him
left
specifically
needs
yeah.
to have more credit on this station about drafting Cam Ward. He was the first one to say it, and definitely the last one to say it.
it is funny. This station spent all of March and most of April talking about should the Titans trade. And this show was like, they're not trading. They're taking Cam Ward. And,
St. Patrick's Day
no
deadline.
one.
We were out before the St. Patrick's Day deadline.
I said it as soon as they signed Brandon Allen. I was
Yep.
like, lock it in. Anyway,
Took one plane flight to Vegas, and I was changed.
we just don't get the credit we deserve over here.
It's just I get we're just the weekend guys, but like, we're humans too. We're people too.
We don't mop the floors around here.
We
all
don't
right?
bite, man.
615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to chime in. Again, quick Titans talk today. We're not going to spend too much time on it. We are going to get into the Preds for the first time in who knows how long.
How about that?
I mean, when was the last time we talked Preds on this show?
Good bit.
Ask Nick Keitzer. He was probably still on the show.
I mean,
bit.
yeah, is probably true. We probably since early in the season. I don't think we've talked a lot of Preds. So we're going to talk some Preds. It was an interesting week in Smashville. Draft lottery. Barry Trotz spoke to the media after the season. We'll get into all of that coming up next. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you on this Saturday morning. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Tune in to 94.9 The Fan tonight as the Nashville Sounds take on Norfolk. Pregame begins at 6:20. First pitch is at 6:35. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds baseball on 94.9 The Fan. It's presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman alongside you. Newt's notes coming up in the next segment. We'll hand it off to Connor. But let's talk some Preds here for a few minutes. Draft lottery was on Monday. The Preds got a little unlucky. They had a chance to pick second there. They were one number away, as Luke Combs said,
Nice.
from getting the second pick. But it ended up going to, I guess, Utah. The Mammoth won that pick,
which is awesome.
but they could only move up 10 picks. So San Jose got the second pick. Yes, the Mammoth.
Love it.
Awesome logo, by the way.
Love it. It's so cool.
The expansion / moving teams in the NHL have killed it with their logos.
Oh, yeah.
Golden Knights, Kraken, and now the Mammoth. All three are elite color schemes, logos. I love it.
I think they overuse the color blue too much.
There might be a little too much blue.
Just a little bit. I think they should probably add maybe a red or a green.
They could just be the Titans if they add red. Add a little touch of red to it.
There you go. You could do that.
I think that's part of why I love the Predators so much, is because their color scheme is unique.
They evolved throughout the years.
I mean, they were
obviously.
kind of basic. They started, Navy primary, but now they've kind of transitioned to the whole gold.
Yeah.
And it's unique. It's like no other team in the NHL is really doing that.
Juan, what are you shaking your head for?
I just don't agree with that logo.
The Mammoth one?
No, it looks
I love it.
No, it looks like a generic logo that you would find on a video game.
But do you see like they've got the Utah State outline in the
Oh,
very
that's
back?
cool.
Like,
Look at the mountains in the back.
The tusk is a U.
The Rocky Mountains in the background, that's cool, but nah, I don't get
I'm
with
a
it.
big fan. But anyway, the Preds fall to 5th in the draft lottery, which is outside of the range to get one of the couple top line players in this draft. Although this draft,
you got to stop melting down about it.
This
man.
draft it's not like they lost out on Connor Bedard
You got
or Macklin Celebrini.
I mean, this is a message to pretty much everyone on this station. You got to stop. This
Right.
is not a massive deal. I'm no hockey expert, but it's not like this draft was a massive, massive loss. Plus, it's a lottery. Who cares? You're still picking in the top 5.
And the Preds have plenty of draft capital if they want to try and move up. You probably don't have to move up to first, because I think, is it Schaefer, the defenseman, who's going to go first,
And
likely
I think
to the Islanders.
Misa,
I think, is the guy that the Preds would want. He's the center, and maybe you could get up to 2 with the Sharks.
I don't know. Frazier and I were talking about it when this happened. I think they should trade down.
But you already have so much draft capital. It's
Get
like,
more.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
how many young players do you need, though?
I don't think it's more that. I think it's more you could use this pick as, if they play their cards right, use this pick as a stepping stone to getting a already established player in the league.
Which I could agree with. If you could find somebody on the trade block and trade the 5th pick for somebody who can help your team right now, I think that would be.
And the thing that Preds are probably going to fall victim to, or I guess fall into an issue with, is that the finances. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to have to sign a guy to like probably a 7-year deal, so everything will play out properly. You know what I mean? I'm just I'm tired of these long-term deals.
I know. It's
That's why they're in the situation they're in, because they're locked into some of these long-term contracts.
Yeah, Shea's got a 7-year deal. Soros about to start his 8-year deal.
So I don't know. And I heard somebody say this. It may have been Robbie that said it, but talked about Brady Shea. And I think it was Barry Trotz that mentioned it, but I think Robbie elaborated more on the topic. Brady Shea went from and I'm not a hockey savant, went from a man-to-man defense and then ends up going to a zone defense with Andrew Burnett. So, like, there's an adjustment period there.
Yeah.
So I think this first year, even though on paper this team probably were Stanley Cup darlings, hopefully year 2 is a lot more different. And with this number 5 overall draft pick, you're able to use that as leverage against other teams in the NHL. And especially, I would look at expansion teams like a Seattle Kraken or a Vegas Golden Knights, because those are teams that are decent. Like they got good pieces, but at the same time, you could use that 5th overall pick to get a player, maybe and/or draft picks in return.
My thing with the NHL draft is you're not drafting a plug and play guy
unless you're at the very top.
Yeah, unless it's like a Connor Bedard or a, who's the Macklin Celebrini, someone that you can throw in immediately. You're drafting a prospect. It's similar to the MLB draft where you're drafting a guy that you can use 3-4 years down the line.
It's much closer to baseball than it is football or basketball.
That's why I don't understand the meltdown. I get Jared's whole thing. The only good players come in the top 3. But, I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating to me because you're not drafting in a position to where you can throw a guy in there immediately. Plus, if you were, you have so many other younger prospects that are more experienced in your minor league affiliate that have played NHL level hockey that you would probably much rather throw up than a rookie that's never played before.
Yeah, it's interesting for the Preds because you're bringing Andrew Brunette back too. So what's really going to change from this year's team?
I don't know. That's why I'm worried.
It seems like they're banking on these young players getting a lot better in one offseason. Like Evangelista takes a big next step.
And
And
that was supposed to be this year.
Right. That was him and Novak were supposed to take that step this year. Novak's been traded and Evangelista had like 30 something points.
Something along those lines.
A really bad year.
And I think they're also banking on, okay, it didn't work with Stamkos, Marchessault, and Shea this year, but after a year, they're going to start to figure it out. I don't know if that's enough to make this team better in one offseason. I wouldn't have called for Bruno to be fired, but I would have understood if they did it, just because you're not going to change your team very much. The only way to really make a meaningful difference heading into next year would have been to make a change at coach.
Here's my thing. If the Preds were to move on from Andrew Brunette, let's just put it this way. If Andrew Brunette was not assigned, but he wasn't elected as a assistant coach for Team Canada, I think the Preds might be playing this out a little bit differently. And I don't know nothing inside source, outside. So I don't know nothing about that. That's just my gut. You guys know what my gut feeling is sometimes. Maybe something like that.
That was kind of the tip off for me. As soon as the Preds posted about congrats to our guy for being, Team Canada, I was like, he's coming back.
You can always kind of tell, like, they're not going to post that and then fire him the next day.
Yeah.
So Andrew Brunette back for 25-26. Preds picking 5th in the draft. Really doesn't seem like they're going to be all that active in free agency. So it feels like Barry Trotz is saying this year was a fluke. We're going to figure it out next year with this same group. It's risky, but if he's right, I think it could end up being good for this franchise moving forward. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you want to call or text, our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Make sure to tune in today for Vanderbilt baseball here on 102.5 The Game as the Commodores take on Tennessee. Pregame at 3:45. First pitch is at 4. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. 9:45 on a Saturday. It means Newt's Notes is coming up next here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
He's got a big match today.
That one's good. I always forget about that one. I was thinking we were getting say his name and
I gotta make a new one. I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired of these.
I try to keep them on a
No, I
pretty
know.
even
No, you
rotation.
have.
You do a good job,
You
yeah.
rotate them, but yeah, I forgot about this one for a second.
Yeah. Well, Randy's got a big match today. We're pulling for him today. He's fighting John.
Oh, John Cena.
Mm,
Childhood rivalries that just
Interesting.
rekindle.
it's one last time.
Wow.
It's literally labeled one last time.
Maybe I'll have to tune in.
Yeah. It's been kind of a boring
On
feud.
Peacock?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Backlash in St. Louis.
Quick breaking news before we hand it over to Connor. Saints quarterback Derek Carr retiring from football after a shoulder injury that threatened his season. So he is stepping away from the game. The Saints quarterback room now includes Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener.
I'm making a call if I'm the Titans. And I'm saying, hey,
Will
we got
Levis
this guy,
is
Will
sitting
Levis.
right here.
yeah, you can have him.
We'll see. Maybe the Saints want to add a little more competition to that room, but Derek Carr retiring from football after probably a 10, 12-year career.
Yeah, he's 35.
Yeah. So
He's 34,
34.
going on 35. I just putting this out there. His base salary for next season, from what it says on Spotrac, $40 million.
yeah,
Oh.
I think he is passing on $40 million, but he's made a lot of money in his career. So,
Wow.
Um,
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
That says a lot about the Saints, in my opinion. You're
But-
passing on $40 million.
Sean Payton left him with Taysom Hill's contract.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude,
I have a feeling the Saints are not going to be very good this year.
No.
But yes, Derek Carr stepping away. Connor, take it away. Newt's notes.
Okay, so we need to brush up on gym etiquette from what I'm discovering. Quick story. The other day, I was working out at campus just trying to get a pump in after my exam. So this dude follows me to every single machine, cuts me off right before I'm about to use it, and uses it on quite literally the lightest weight possible. Leg lifts, he's doing it with 5 pounds. Calf raises, he's not even doing the bar. He's just putting up like 2 plates on his shoulders and going. And they were like 2.5 pound plates. I'm like, what are you trying to prove to me? Are you trying to intimidate me?
That's actually awesome.
I was kind of pissed. I was like, and here's the kicker. Here's where he got me the most mad. He'd do a set and then hop on his phone for about 10 minutes in between sets, then go again on the lightest way possible. Then, hop on his phone for 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God, go. I need to do this now. And I mean, every time he would go before me, I'd look at him and I'd look at him and I'd put the weight to where like 80 pounds heavier. And I winked at him and I just started going.
What a weird thing to do, but also kind of funny. It's like something they would do in Impractical Jokers or something like, hey, go cut this guy off and then do leg lifts with 5 pounds.
I mean, unprompted, by the way.
what was the guy in somewhat of some shape?
No. Well, I mean, he was like 60 pounds.
So was he skinny? Is what you're telling me? Like skinny's a rail?
Yeah.
Well, then that explains the weight distribution.
Yeah,
I don't
but
get it.
Why was he following you around?
I don't know. I was mad. I was like, we need to brush up on some gym etiquette. So here's some things that piss me off in the gym. That is one of them. The biggest one is when you sit on the machine I'm about to use and you're just on your phone. Like if you're not using it, get up and I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Another one is just people, I'm not going to make the noises this time, but people that grunt out loud. Like we get it, you're working,
That's
but
what we need the lunk alarm in Planet
yeah,
Fitness
the
for.
lunk alarm, baby. That's part of why I bring my own headphones. But that's another thing. The music they play in these gyms nowadays is awful. Like they'll play like, Mix 92.9 or something like that.
It feels like you're listening to Kids Bop.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like no discredit to Mix 92.9.
Does it not bother you like when you use some sort of machine and you gotta like sit down and it's just all soaked in sweat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People that don't wipe down.
Gotta wipe the machine
Gotta
down.
wipe it. I'm not one that sweats, so I don't really have to worry about that problem. But it's like the big meaty
Right.
fellas.
It's not like when I get up off a machine, there's like sweat marks everywhere, but I still will go and spray the paper towel,
Sure.
just wipe it down.
It's sanitary.
It's a courtesy.
Yeah, it's
Like
courtesy.
even if there's no sweat on there, it's a courtesy to make everybody else feel comfortable using the machine after you.
Nobody wants ringworm.
No.
Just saying. Wrestling mats, they're almost the same as workout machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants that ringworm.
I'm with you. That's you gotta spray it down, even if you don't sweat.
Well, I can't stand the people that have full on conversations like right next to you. I'm like, I'm trying to lock in and get something done.
Yeah.
And these people are having a conversation. Hey, did you see what Janice said at work the other day? And it's like the entire gym can hear. I'm like, and typically it's on the machine I'm about to use. So I'm like, just speed it up. Let's go. This isn't social hour. This is lunk alarm hour.
Yeah, I had that happen to me a couple weeks ago. I think I was trying to use like the chest fly machine, and I saw this dude was kind of wrapping up, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get ready. And I guess he ran into one of his friends, and they just talked for like 15 minutes while he's sitting on the machine. I was not happy.
It's, I mean,
Gym etiquette. It's a big deal.
You people got to brush up on your gym courtesies. I mean, it's a thing.
It's only going to get worse because it's the summer months.
Now let's carry this over, not just to the gym, but if we were in a rec center, chances are there's a basketball court there. If I am shooting around and trying to escape and trying to just have like a, like a me time, just shoot around, don't be the guy that comes on the court next to me and decides to do full layup lines, full court. I had this happen the other day, and I was like, are you serious? I literally had to I would shoot for 2 seconds, and this guy doing a full layup line moved me out of the way and pushed me to the baseline so he can get his layups in. I'm like, brother, you are not going to the NBA.
He's trying to make the league.
I mean, MTSU does not need you to make their Final Four run that they're probably never going to make. Please just go somewhere else. There's like 3 other open courts. Just go there. Why are you on top of me?
That's so funny. I mean, and you're right, Nick. It's going to get worse because the summer months, January and probably May and June are probably the 2 worst.
The first week of
gym
January
times.
is
Yes.
the worst week in the gym calendar year.
Everybody goes for the New Year's resolution.
And
And
they
then I
forget
think you're
about
right.
it.
I think May and like early June, right before people are going on like beach vacations, it's like, all right, I got to get back in the gym a little bit.
That's why I've started working out in my garage. It's
Hey,
just
I'm going to give some people some inside news here about working out. If you get a 35-pound kettlebell and go in your garage and do a full 45-minute hit circuit kettlebell workout, it's just as good as going to the gym.
45 minutes. That's all it takes. That's all you got to do.
I'm serious.
Honestly, my workouts are like 25 minutes. I'll go do,
I go like 40.
I
If I'm going with someone, it'll be maybe an hour because we rotate
Right.
sets. But if I'm going myself, I go quick. Like I fly through.
Oh, me too. I literally 25 minutes. That's it. And I feel like I get a good workout in.
Yeah.
It
you don't-
takes a little while for me.
I just don't take a lot of rest in between sets. It's like I'll take 15, 20 seconds and I'll go again. And I feel like
Dude, I'm killing it lately. I maxed out the other day on bench. I hit 145 for the first time.
wow,
For
about
3.
I haven't
I was like,
benched
oof.
in a long time.
Bench is my favorite.
I do
Chest day is the best.
I do like dumbbell incline press.
I do that too.
But I haven't
Chest
actually
day-
done a bar
It's been a
bench
while.
press in a while.
I rotate between chest is the big one, and then we do back and by and some core stuff because core is important, people, and then leg. I'm one of the people that works out legs.
I
but
do not do leg day. I'm like Mike Vrabel.
I enjoy leg day.
Give me lunges. We're good. Lunges and a 35-pound kettlebell.
Oh,
We're good.
I need to put you on my program.
Oh, no.
Program.
You need to get onto
You'll love
my
it.
program.
You'll love it.
Texter on our text line says guys slamming their weights always made him mad too. That's another
Yeah,
one.
but they grunt when they do it.
That's
too.
the lunk alarm.
Ugh.
That's what we need the lunk alarm for.
Yeah.
That's a fantasy football punishment too, is like go to Planet Fitness until you set off the lunk alarm. Like that's the only way you can leave.
That'd be awful. That'd be a terrible
It's hor-
punishment.
you just basically have to go and be a complete jerk at the gym until the workers get so mad at you that they have to fire off the giant alarm that's on the wall.
I'll give you a controversial one. If I'm changing in a locker room and there's an old man in the shower,
No.
615-737-1025 is our phone number.
I mean, that's all I'll say.
I love when like somebody grabs like a Scantron of like a shoe and they scan it to get into Planet Fitness.
I saw
Those are great.
I saw the videos of the dude. He has like a fish with a barcode on it, and the lady screaming at him, "That is a fish! That is not a gym barcode! That is a fish!"
Good way to get kicked out right there.
Yeah,
There you go.
no, that's
Well,
really good.
that's the thing I forgot to say. I work out in my garage. My neighbor gets so mad at me because I put my music on. I'm like, it's my
Oh.
property, baby.
Yeah,
I can play whatever I want.
you can do what you want. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you have thoughts on gym etiquette, we'd love to hear them. We also would love to hear your answers to our question of the day. Nick Frazier wants to know, what is a sports vacation destination for you in the summer? We'll give our answers coming up next in hour number 2 of 4's Company, 1025-1063 The Game. 4's Company, hour number 2 on this Saturday. We are brought to you by LPL Financial Nashville and Patrick Conger. LPL Financial Nashville is your partner for whatever your future holds. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Time to get into our question of the day. Nick Frazier was in charge today. He wants to know, what is your summer sports vacation destination? Plenty of options out there. Let's go to our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Ben from New Johnsonville says, going to St. Louis for like a 3 or 4 game series and seeing everything around the city. I think baseball is going to be he stole mine. It's going to be a popular answer, just getting to some of these ballparks. I think a lot of us will probably have similar answers. Let's go to our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Adam in Portland wants to chime in. Adam, good morning. Good to hear from you again. Go ahead.
What's up, dude? Yeah, anywhere bright and sunny is good for me. I wanted to jump in on the gym thing, if you would let me, Jake, just because it's kind of struck a chord with me this morning. So it's not necessarily about etiquette, but I'm a treadmill guy, all right? So, like, I'm also a fat guy. So, like, I'm not bragging. I'm saying, like, but when I go, I get on the treadmill. And, like, I'm in my own zone. I don't talk to people. I don't really know anybody up there. This dude gets up on the treadmill next to me, and he's like a fit fat guy. You could tell he was a little bit heavier. He started to work on it. He just starts going real fast, starts running real hard, right? And so I'm like, that's fine. And then he wants to converse with me. He's like, do you want to go my speed? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, well, all these people started counting me out, and starts doing this like motivational speaking thing. I'm like, dude, like, it was so uncomfortable. So I don't know if that's an etiquette thing, but don't talk to people on the machines. Like, if they don't open up to you like immediately, like, yeah, dude, let me hold the camera for you while you shoot this video that you're obviously shooting. Like, I don't want to hear about your motivational speak. So I don't know, dude. It almost encouraged me to get a treadmill so that way I don't have to do it at the gym in front of people. So I would never have to talk to this dude again. You know what I mean? So that's a big etiquette thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, etiquette, just kind of a weird person in general.
Well, that's just that's a thing for me in public in general. Like, when I go to Target, the thing that drives me crazy is the people that wait by the technology. Hey, what's your phone provider?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't
try and get you to switch. Yeah.
No, I'm not switching to you. I usually tell them, I don't handle that. Well, can you call the person that does? I'm like, no.
When people ask me, I'm just like, hey, I'm on a family plan, not looking to switch.
I just tell
my daddy pays for it.
I just tell them I buy minutes at the mall. That's what I do. And they just look at me like, are you okay?
Okay.
Like, 1995, you all right?
What you need to do is you need to find like your dad's old BlackBerry or something.
Yeah, pull it out.
Sorry,
yeah. I'm getting a call.
I used to have a flip phone. Like, that was an experiment I did in high school. Like, I deactivated my iPhone and then bought a flip phone. It was indestructible. And I actually did an experiment. Like, people I actually text on a regular basis, let me call them instead.
Yeah.
And
dude, those things are bricks.
They're
like,
great.
They don't die.
They're great.
No, that is true. They'll last forever. To Adam's story there, there should be a rule. If you are in a gym, unless you A, know somebody, or B, are asking somebody how many sets they have left or something like that, do not talk to somebody else at the gym.
Yeah. I don't want to talk to you.
Especially if they're headphones.
Nobody is there to talk with somebody else. So unless it's like you run into an old friend or something, it's like, oh, hey, how are you? And you have a quick conversation. That's fine. And
if you do, go somewhere else that's not on a machine.
Right.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm fine if you talk.
Move to the side. If you want to have a quick conversation, that's fine. Or if it's like, hey, man, you almost done? Can I get in after you?
Or like, hey, man, can I get a spot real quick while I finish this?
Something that has to do with working out. That's fine. But outside of that, don't talk to somebody else in the gym.
Don't give a motivational speech on the treadmill.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Nobody is there to have a conversation with you. It's like is it whatever company does the young homeowners turning into their parents? It's like that's something
progressive.
Yeah,
I love
that's
those
something those people would do. It's like, hey, do you want to go my speed? It's like, no.
They counted me out. Now I'm counting back or whatever.
They wrote me off. I didn't write back. Geno Smith. Anyway, back to our question of the day. I'll say Detroit is the answer for me, but in general, one day I would love to do. I know it was the firemen who did this a few years back. They did all 30 ballparks in like 32 days or something like that.
Supersize me.
Like
baby.
it would be so expensive. Like you would have to save up.
You don't know what I'm saying, do you? You didn't watch that movie?
You didn't watch that
when
movie
you
in
were
health class?
No.
It was the movie of the dude that only ate McDonald's for 30 days.
Yeah.
Maybe
And like if they asked him to supersize, like, would you like to supersize it? He had to say yes.
I think I may have Netflix.
It was.
I don't know what we watched
I
it
think
on.
he's dead now, actually.
Yeah, no, yes, he did. Morgan something was his name.
Yeah, I
he
think
did just
passed
die.
away. Yeah,
But yes, he showed like the negative effects of eating McDonald's. For
Got some
33
homework
days.
to do.
Anyway.
and it didn't work. We all wanted McDonald's.
Yes, yeah. No one
We're
stopped.
like, that
eating
looks
McDonald's.
awesome.
Yeah, I was like, can I do that? But I think I'd love to do that. You'd have to save up like 50 grand
Oh yeah.
in order to do it with all the flights and the hotels and the tickets. But I saw it was like 2 firemen who were best friends who did it in like 31 days. They did 30 baseball games and saw every team, and it looked awesome. They made a little documentary about it.
That is pretty neat.
Do you have an answer?
Oh, me. I
your
didn't
own
know
question.
Sorry, I didn't know if Connor was.
Connor
on
said
that.
St. Louis, unless
Well,
you
I
have
mean-
another one.
Well, I mean, I have a few. I mean, it's not this summer. In the fall, I'm going to the Queen City, my Queen City, Lexington, for a full weekend. You know, they play an exhibition in basketball against Purdue in Rupp Arena, and the next day they play Tennessee on the Gridiron, and then I'll just hang out in the city. So that'll be really fun. At the end of the month, I'm going to the opposite city of Knoxville to watch SmackDown.
Love it.
Now everyone knows where I'm going on the 30th
Everybody,
and the 31st.
everybody say
So
hi
now-
to Connor.
So now you know where where I'm now everyone that works here knows why I called out. But St. Louis is definitely one. I mean, there's more to do in St. Louis than just baseball.
Right.
They got Six Flags out there. I'm a big roller coaster guy, so I would definitely love to do that. And then go watch a series of the Cardinals. We used to do that all the time when I was a kid. We'd sit right behind the dugout. I specifically remember watching them play a full series against the Dodgers with Yasiel Puig was on the team. He was fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, St. Louis would definitely be for the summer for me. That would 100%. But I mean, there's so many you could go. Like, just going to Lexington and watching, you know, summer football. Granted, they suck, but it's summer football. How could you not love it? There's so many answers. I'm going off on such a rant right now, and no one's responding back to me, but that's okay.
Just let you rant. As for myself, would love to go to Italy and see AC Milan play in the
Right.
Stadio San Siro.
Yeah, you were saying that.
That is just a spectacle I want to see before they decide to actually pull the trigger and say, you know what, we're going to tear this wonderful stadium down and build a new one. And I do not want that at all. And the other one I'd like to go see, 2 of them, is the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium in Naples, in Napoli, and Stadio Renzo Barbera in Palermo.
I would love to see a European soccer match. Like I've never been to one. I feel like the atmosphere would just be insane.
I think I'd go just for that. I
I
don't really
think
care about soccer.
That's
but
the only thing that I think stands up with college football in terms of fan atmosphere
Mm,
is European soccer.
I just love when I went to Italy the second time to see some family. They have a very, very small soccer team to the point where probably the city could all pitch in like the Green Bay Packers and buy some form of
Right.
stock into it. And there were all these food trucks, and they had these porchetta trucks, which is just pork. And you could eat these little paninis it was delicious. And you just pay €2 for a ticket and walk into the game. I was like, this is heaven.
Apparently, there's a Super Size Me sequel. By the way.
Yes, Jared from Spring Hill, super high me.
Okay.
I can only imagine what that's about.
I'm gonna do cocaine for 30 straight days.
No.
See what happens. Jake Wallman, what is
Fraser,
your answer to the question?
Fraser,
today?
you had me at pork.
Yeah.
So-
These sandwiches are delicious.
Hopefully, I get to go to that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. if you
I'd like
save
to
up,
go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
That is a
that'd be
good
pretty
one.
Cool.
Yeah, Canton.
Not to cut you off there.
I
No,
think
it's
all
fine.
of the
Uh,
Hall of Fames would be good to go to.
My
Uh,
uncle went a couple years ago and said that it was pretty cool.
going to the Hall of Fame game would be fun. I'm sure, and that's in like late July, so that would be
Yeah.
summer.
Hopefully it's not like humid. That's the only
It-
thing.
Yeah, it always rains.
Cooperstown, I think, is on the list for me.
Cooperstown would be cool.
Cooperstown would be cool.
And then the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte.
can't breathe.
Yeah.
You
NASCAR
okay,
Hall
Connor?
of Fame.
Yeah.
That'd be, you know what? Thinking about that, that'd be pretty interesting. Seeing like a motorsport Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I could. I'm not a huge NASCAR guy, but I could do it
Dabble.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to one race and I enjoyed it. so-
College Football Hall of Fame is my go. my
Yeah, I
dream.
Yeah.
completely forgot about that one.
I think it's somewhere in Georgia.
It's in Atlanta.
Atlanta, yes.
The SEC had media days down there in like 2018.
In the College
Interesting.
Football Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was recent. I do recall that.
That's cool.
I think it's there this year. Not the College Football Hall of Fame,
But in
Atlanta. I think
that
so.
sounds right. Yeah, I think I did see that. Robert in Nashville says Ireland for the hurling championship. He might have said this a couple days ago too.
I heard somebody talk about hurling the other day.
I feel like I don't know. Andrew, back on the gym stuff. He says, please talk about people who grab dumbbells and do their sets directly in front of the dumbbell rack, so they're in the way.
Yep.
I also people who don't put the dumbbells back in the right spot.
Yes.
Like a couple days ago, I picked up like 30s, and when I went back to put them back, somebody had put 50s in there. So I had to put down my 30s and pick up the 50s. and move
the
them.
OCD in me, I have to put them face up where the numbers are.
Oh,
living
real?
there.
Yeah,
Because-
no, me too.
I mean, in high school, our football coach hammered that into us. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to be organized. So when people put it A, in the wrong spot, or B, upside down, I go out of my way to fix it.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm a dad, but
For me, I'm not going to just put them in the wrong spot just because someone else did. We're going to change it. We're going to put it back. But if it does frustrate me, if you want to keep chiming in on either of these things, question of the day, favorite sports vacation destination,
we have a development.
or gym etiquette, go ahead.
It has stopped blinking.
Oh, wow. The laptop is starting to heal. The world is
The
healing.
world is getting better.
Our national nightmare is over.
This is like
Well,
4 days worth of his
I know.
computer.
We
just
started
doing
this last Saturday.
It's gonna start again. I'm telling you.
I'm sure.
Knock
it
on
will,
wood.
but hopefully not.
Wood.
But yeah, if you want to chime in on either thing, gym etiquette, sports vacation destination, let us know. 615-737-1025. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The 615 Open Charity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor, presented by Gary Force Accurate Hermitage Golf Course, is on Thursday, May 29th. You can sign up to play or sponsor at 615open.com. We're going to get into baseball for the rest of the show. Talk some MLB. We'll talk some SEC baseball as Vandy and Tennessee get set for game 2 this afternoon. Coming up next, here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. The Game Nashville Sports Network is your home for NASCAR. Tomorrow, tune in to Sports Talk 8:30 for the Advent Health 400 NASCAR race at 2 p.m. Coverage also available at the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you on this Saturday morning. We're going to
almost fall again.
You're really testing gravity.
I'm like
over there.
Joe Rexroad today. Next thing, I'm just going to start talking and my mic's not going to be on.
At this point, you kind of have to fall by the end of the show.
Maybe I'll do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Whoa! Clip that. That's a soundbite now.
Let's get into some baseball here. MLB season over a month in. We haven't talked a ton of MLB. I know you guys did an MLB segment the week I was gone, but storylines after a month of the season, the Dodgers are who we thought they would be. The NL West as a whole is dominant. The AL Central looking really good. You look at the top 3 teams in the AL Central. Tigers have won 8 of 10. Guardians have won 8 of 10. Royals have won 9 of 10. The 3 best records in the American League are all in the AL Central. Who would have thought?
What a league.
Is that right? Am I reading that right? Yes.
Yeah,
You are.
The Mariners are the 4th best team at 22 and 15.
Wow.
Crazy.
That is nuts.
Jeff Passan put out the tweet after like 6 games, and it was the AL Central, everyone, and the whole division was 2 and 4. Look at them now. Look at them now.
Yeah. Not a lot of separation between them either. I'm looking at it right now. Cleveland is 2.5 back of Detroit. So is Kansas City. And then Minnesota and Chicago.
And the White Sox. The White Sox, not the worst team in baseball, though.
This is my hot take.
They lost
If you
10-0
wanna
to
take it that
kick
way.
off the Pope Leo era.
I think the Athletics make the playoffs and the Astros miss the playoffs.
The A's are looking good. They have the A's are they have the same-ish record as Houston. The A's have played 2 more games, but they're both 3 games back of Seattle.
Yeah. The reason why I think the Athletics make it in over Houston's pitching staff right now, rotation that is just in shambles.
Hunter Brown's good, but yeah, that like
Framber Valdez is not the same Framber Valdez.
No.
They don't have the run support behind their pitching, which is unfortunate because Yordan Alvarez has been hurt. Obviously, the departure of Kyle Tucker, bringing in Christian Walker and Isaac Paredes just hasn't been it for the Astros this
Right.
year.
Their pitching staff isn't as deep as I expected them to be.
Lance McCullers has been injured, and he came back off the IL, 15-day IL.
Did you already mention Frambler? He's having a
Yeah.
down year so far.
Yeah, he has been having a down year. And like you said, Hunter Brown, only pitcher they really got. It's really unfortunate because that was a dynasty that could have been something, but they chose not to re-sign Bregman. They chose to move on from
and
Tucker.
he is freaking killing it.
and
Right now.
you lost Bregman and Tucker, who outside of the 2 guys who are going to win MVP, like Shohei's going to win it in the NL, Judge is going to win it in the AL. I think we can almost guarantee, barring an injury, those 2 guys are your MVPs.
Yeah.
But Bregman and Tucker might finish second in both leagues, and Houston trying to replace them with Paredes and Walker has not quite worked out yet.
And the thing is, too, about Walker is that he was so good in Arizona.
Right.
And it just hasn't translated with Houston. I don't know if it's something with batting practice. I don't know if it's just a different routine, different setting. Nothing's clicking for him right now.
Yeah. Houston 19 and 18. I believe they would be in a playoff spot if the season ended today, which obviously it does not. Yeah. They would be the final wild card team. In the NL, Dodgers, again, they are who we thought they were, but can anybody challenge them in that league? The Mets look good, 25 and 14. Phillies are always a threat. And the Cubs, maybe the surprise team of the year. They're 22 and 17, but they've only played, I think I saw 6 games against teams who are below 500.
Yeah.
So they've played the toughest schedule in the league.
Kyle Tucker's playing MVP caliber baseball right now.
Former Vandy standout, Dansby Swanson, he always has an up and down season at the plate, but this year it's been a little bit more consistent than usual, which is a good thing for not only Vandy fans, but also Cubs fans. And as a Cardinals fan saying that, it hurts, but also at the same time as a Nashville.
They've also gotten production out of Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah.
Carson Kelly.
Also on my fantasy team.
Carson Kelly has the second most WAR among catchers this year.
That's crazy.
Who would have thought?
Mind-blowing.
The Tigers traded him for nothing last year at the deadline.
And then now he's
I mean,
probably going to be an all-star.
we got Dylan Dingler, who has the third most WAR among catchers in the league. But anyway, can anybody beat the Dodgers? Do we think that one of these teams that has gotten off to hot starts, the Mets, the Cubs, the Padres, the Giants, can somebody beat the Dodgers in a 7-game series? I don't believe it with the pitching that the Dodgers have.
Yeah, that rotation is deep. Even though some of those guys are on the older side of their careers, they're still good. The filth is still there.
Well, they got youth too.
Yeah.
Sasaki is a dog.
Yeah, I was a little worried about Sasaki when he came into
He
the
had
MLB.
a rough start, but he's kind of rounding it out now.
Not just his production, but everybody was worried about his UCL.
Right.
There was that whole thing of he's going to throw his arm out immediately, and he was having issues back in Japan during high school. That is,
Well, his velo has gone down,
yeah,
which is a little bit troubling.
and I don't know if that's on purpose so he could be able to command the fastball and command his other pitches. But I mean, 95 plus is still pretty good.
But even without, if you're not even worrying about Sasaki, Blake Snell will be healthy at some point.
Tyler Glasnow.
You got Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow. You never know if Tyler Glasnow is going to be healthy, but
Yeah.
he's there too. Clayton Kershaw is going to come back at some point, which I don't think Kershaw goes into your rotation, but that's a really good option to have in your bullpen as a veteran guy who still has some stuff. Dustin May, is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Came back from cancer, I believe.
Right.
Is that
Yeah. So this is, I like a lot of these teams in the NL. Like, I think the Mets are really good. I think the Cubs are really good. I think the Padres are really good, but I don't see anybody beating the Dodgers.
Well, I'll say this: the NL West, I think, is the best division in baseball.
I agree with that. Yeah.
hands down. Because the team,
Diamondbacks are still really good.
yeah, and they're second to last in the West, which makes no sense. I mean, it does make sense because there are other teams better than them, but at the same time, like they put out good production. You put them in the Central, they're tied with the Cardinals.
They're still above 500.
yeah,
They're 20 and 19. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Rockies bringing up their at 6-32.
The Rockies, man.
In the AL, it feels more wide open.
yeah.
I think the shocker so far this year is that the Orioles are so horrible. They are the second to worst team in the AL.
I think the Gunnar Henderson injury really set them back.
Right. I agree with that. But it's still surprising. Their pitching is horrendous.
Yeah.
You
Well,
put-
they lost Corbin Burns.
Yep.
They've been trotting
Jack Flaherty.
Charlie Morton's been heading out there to give up 8 runs a game every time he goes out.
He's like, what, 41?
Yeah,
He's on
His
his
batting
last leg.
practice is what he is. I mean, you could put me out there. I'll go 2 for 3 with a double and a single.
Well, they're trying to play some youth too. Like Jackson Holiday is out there now, and
I think also the departure of Anthony Santander really depleted
Yeah.
their batting lineup.
that
for
was
sure.
a big middle of the order bat that switch hitter too that they just
Yeah.
don't have anymore.
Well, they're not. I don't think they're getting the hitting production out of Adley Rutschman either. He hasn't
Right.
been at his best at the plate either, and that's
Yeah.
someone that they need to hit.
He got up to a really good start in the first 3 weeks, but like y'all were talking about with the Orioles in general as a team, they fell off. And like they even made adjustments to their home stadium in left field, bringing in the fence again, just to create more run support. And it's just not happening. And Cedric Mullins, of all players, defensively is great, but at the plate, this team cannot produce runs, which just blows my mind.
The Yankees lead the AL East at 22-16. They're going to be the favorite to come out of the AL. I think mostly because of the brand of being the Yankees and the fact that they have Aaron Judge on their team.
Yeah.
But I don't think that you could look at the AL. I think you could look at the AL and see maybe like 8 teams that could come out. I think the
possible.
Yankees, the Red Sox, the Tigers, the Guardians, the Royals, the Mariners, maybe not 8. Maybe Houston,
Give or take.
maybe Toronto if they start to figure things out.
I think
But-
that might be the team to do that.
But like it's so different. The NL is better than the AL. Like I think
Yeah.
if you put the Cubs or the Mets in the AL, they're immediately the favorite to come
Mhm.
out of the and go to the World Series. But
What do you think of the Reds?
they just can't score.
Yeah. Well, I'm just asking because they made what I thought on paper back in what was it, December, they made a great manager hire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Terry Francona,
Tito.
for sure.
And they just it's the same Reds. Like they'll have a lead and they'll blow it because they don't have a bullpen. Hunter Green's been fantastic.
he just got hurt though.
but he's
Yeah.
hurt.
So
I think
he
he's on
just went on the-
15-day IL with a
Yes.
strained groin or something like that. But
Yes.
I mean, their hitting hasn't been there. Ellie hasn't been there. who's the other one? Matt McClain has
Yeah.
really struggled at the plate. They just don't have the offensive firepower that they should for such a young team. It's just weird.
Here's
Yeah.
the nerd coming out of me when it comes back to torpedo bats, just briefly. Pitchers are figuring this out. They are starting to figure this out. If you go back and look at some video, like especially
Because we haven't talked about it in a month and a half.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why.
It was the biggest story in sports for 4 days. And then people realized, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
no, because at the start of the season, all your pitchers are just trying to get adjusted. They're throwing a lot of fastballs. If you look at the percentage of pitch breakdown, I'm pretty sure I have to go back and look. Fastballs were one of the top priority pitches at the beginning of the season. So a lot of these guys are going to tee off with a torpedo bat. Now you're going to see more off speed because you have to really utilize your rotation well, utilize your arm, make sure you don't throw it out. You're going to see a lot more off speeds. Like the sweeper has been a big pitch, and sliders have been big pitches in the MLB for quite some time now. And it's been a big pitch this year.
You did inspire me with that conversation we had because we talked about Byron Buxton.
Yeah.
So I went and picked him up because of the story that, he has a different bat for every starting pitcher in the MLB. He's been killing it for me in fantasy.
You're welcome.
I mean, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate it because you're smoking me right now.
I say you're not going to beat me, man. I'm a podium finish every year.
I'm not going to beat you.
It's going to be a fun summer. I think baseball is in a good spot. Yes, the Dodgers are kind of a super team, but baseball and hockey are the two sports where it's so random sometimes. It's a round ball and a round bat. You can have the best team on paper, but in a 5-game series in those divisional series, we've seen it before that these teams, they're better on paper pitching and hitting, but the hot team at the right time, they can make a run. So excited to see how things sort itself out over the next few months.
I'm curious about Rafael Devers.
Yes. Devers saying he won't play first base.
And the translator saying it was nothing about that. It was something different. I don't know if y'all saw that or not.
Oh, he's denying that Devers said that?
No, he translated it incorrectly. And Devers was saying that, I don't want to play third base. And it was saying something about like, I just want to be a DH or something like that.
Well, yeah. So basically, when they signed Bregman, Devers said, third base is my spot. I'm only going to play third base.
Yeah.
And the Red Sox convinced him, hey, you can be our DH.
Right.
Just put your glove away. You're going to be our DH all season. Tristan Casas blows out his knee. Now you need a first baseman. And Devers is like, sorry.
That's what it was.
You told me to put my glove away. I'm not going to do it.
I'd make him do it.
That's
He's
what I
got
saw.
paid $30 million a year.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
suck
And he
it up.
started 0-16 to start the season.
And he's been raking since.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're getting paid all that money. Do what the team asks you to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's
So
send him out there. If he's got a problem with it, then he can figure it out.
are we continuing with the
Yeah, we'll keep
baseball?
talking about this on the other side.
I have a question for the both of you about Devers. Where is the next landing spot for him? Because I think the Red Sox are going to try to trade him.
Let's talk about it next. 4's Company. 615-737-1025 if you want to chime in. This week's Nashville's Best Deal is celebrating National Barbecue Month. Get a $50 gift card to Central Barbecue in Capitol View for half off right now. Try their new barbecue sampler, ribs, wings, and barbecue sliders. Go to thegamenashville.com/deals right now while supplies last. We'll keep talking baseball on the other side. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. 4's Company, 1025, 1063 The Game. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Couple more segments here on this Saturday. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. We're talking some baseball. Rafael Devers was one of the big headlines of the week when Tristan Casas, the usual starting first baseman for the Boston Red Sox, went down with a knee injury. The Red Sox approached Rafael Devers about grabbing his glove, playing some first base, and Devers said, "I don't think I will." And that has led to some trade speculation. Devers just signed a $313 million contract a little bit ago. Where do we think he could end up if the Red Sox were to make a move and send him somewhere he might be a little happier?
I have a few names on the short list for Rafael Devers. One, obviously, is the Cardinals because that's been linked, but that's not where I'm kind of thinking. For me, it's somewhere out west. It's not the Dodgers.
Please, not the Dodgers.
No. I think the San Francisco Giants would be a perfect fit for Rafael Devers.
I actually really like that. He could be their panda.
Yes. Short porch, right field. I mean, Matt Chapman's their third baseman, but he's 32. Like, think about that.
Right. And Devers is not a good third baseman. Like, Matt Chapman is a good third baseman.
Right.
Rafael Devers, he wanted to play third base because that was his position. He was like negative 20 outs above average last year.
It's bad.
So put him at first or DH. And I think that would be a good move for somebody out there. But it does not seem like he's very happy with the Red Sox right now.
No. And like, you put him out west, and I say this because it's happened in the past, but when players go out west, sometimes they get forgotten about in a roundabout way. I'm not saying Devers is going to be forgotten about out west, but I think it's a better fit for him because there's less pressure if he were to go to the Giants. I just think so, because you go to a big market franchise in the Boston Red Sox. Massachusetts in general is a sports area.
Yeah.
Like, you are going Patriots,
And they're hard on you.
yeah, they are. And I think out west, everything's a little bit more relaxed. And it'd be a good fit for him there. There's another team on the East Coast, I think. But you guys' thoughts on Giants?
I like the Giants. I think that's a team that they've gotten off to a good start, and that would be maybe like the missing piece that puts them in that conversation with the Padres for that second best team in the NL West. Because I still think the Padres are a better team right now, but you add Rafael Devers, I think that changes a lot of things.
You add a hot bat for sure. Defensively, I don't know how much of a great move that would be unless you put him at first, because like you said, he's not the ideal third baseman. I'm thinking about this in terms of the Cardinals because it seems like they're trying to move off of Nolan Arenado, which is absolutely going to break my heart when it happens because he's my favorite.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I am going for him, I'm looking to put him on the field as a first baseman.
It's right though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fair.
I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to trade for probably a decent haul for a DH. Like, that's just not how I would do it.
You're going to have to give up a decent amount, but also you have to take that contract on probably. So
just
it'll be I do think the Red Sox will figure this out. I don't think he gets traded, but you never know. If the Red Sox don't stay above 500, we get close to the deadline, maybe that's when they make the move.
And we've seen it in years past. They had to choose between Xander Bogaerts or Mookie Betts. And look where that got them.
They don't have either of them now.
Exactly. They don't have either of them, but they decided to keep
playing in the same
Xavier
division.
Bogaerts from all that.
Yeah.
It didn't get them anything.
It's the wrong choice.
Yeah. And so another team I think would be a decent fit for Rafael Devers, it's the New York Mets. I know that sounds a little odd because they've spent a lot of money on Juan Soto.
Right.
They have Mark Vientos at third
And they
base.
got Pete Alonso at first.
Right.
But yeah, I guess if he's your everyday DH.
Because right now, I'm sure a lot of Mets fans, some here, wouldn't be pleased with Juan Soto's performance at the plate.
He's been good the last couple of games.
Yeah, but I mean, you pay a guy
I
that
agree
much
with
money.
you. Yes,
Like,
he has not been transcendent like you expect when you pay a guy $760 million.
Right. And some people say when you have too many heavy bats in a lineup, that can kind of, put you down into a slump, which is very true. But if you put them in the right spots in the lineup, you can get an even keel, run production.
Yeah.
That's how I
Juan
look
Soto, he said it. He doesn't have Aaron Judge protecting him anymore. But he's starting to come on a little bit. We'll see if he starts to live up to that contract. I did see something yesterday that your closer might be the prize of the trade deadline.
Ryan Helsley.
Ryan Helsley. I would love to see him wearing the old English D.
Don't do it.
The Tigers have like 3 great 8th inning guys, but they don't have that true shutdown closer. I'd love to get Helsley pumping some 101 in Comerica. But anyway,
Hell's bells coming out of the
Yeah.
bullpen.
Seems like that's the thing about the Cardinals. It seems like they always have a solid closer.
yeah, that is true.
I mean, I go back to Trevor Rosenthal, who doesn't get enough credit. What was his name? Giovanni Gallegos was solid, and then he kind of fell
The
off.
latter end of his career, he just decided to blow a lot of saves. I'm like,
Closers
please
are
don't.
like that. They're like their lifespan in the MLB is pretty short, unless you're Aroldis Chapman or Craig Kimbrell or something like that.
And then DeGrom goes from relief pitcher to starting pitcher, back
Yeah.
to relief pitcher, and you're just like, all right, make up your mind.
DeGrom goes today against the Tigers. We'll see. It looks like he doesn't throw quite as hard anymore, but he still has all the stuff. So
I'm telling you, anything 95 plus and you're able to command it, it's almost unhittable.
I'm excited for the rest of this baseball season. I think it's going to be a fun one as we move towards October.
I want to go to a game so bad.
Me too.
I'm just craving it.
I haven't been to an MLB game yet this year, so I'd like to do that at some point.
I haven't been to a Sounds game yet this year.
I went to one. I got to see Mizorowski throw like 2
He
weeks
was
ago.
lights
He
out
threw
last
102 last night. He struck out 8 of the first 9 batters he faced.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
How many Ks he finished with? I think he had 10, didn't he?
Yes, I think he went like 6 innings, 10 or 11 Ks, something like that. But yeah, 102.3 was his fastest pitch last night.
That's another thing that bothers me before we go to break real fast. The Milwaukee Brewers have been quite lackluster this season.
Yeah.
I know they're third in the Central, but you have so much youth playing at the top level of baseball. How are y'all not leading the division?
Yeah. The Cubs have been surprising. The NL Central outside of the Pirates right now is kind of just a murky little spot. We'll see.
There's not much separation between the teams. Like everyone's kind of the same competition level, it seems like, except for the Cubs. The Cubs are definitely the best team in that division. But I mean, I look at the Cardinals, I look at the Reds, I look at the Brewers. There's not much that, separates those teams talent-wise for me.
And it's still only May 10th. So
Yep.
long way to go. We still got like 125 games left in this season. So going to be a fun summer. Lots of great baseball going on at the college level too. In Knoxville yesterday, a 3-2 game. The Vols took game 1 over Vandy. We're going to pick game 2 along with game 3 of Capitals and Hurricanes, and we'll get a wild card coming up to wrap up the show. One more segment here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Final segment here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman. Wrapping up our show here on this Saturday.
I miss this so much. Do you know what this is?
Oh, yeah.
This is NHL on NBC.
This is a good one. We're getting Round Ball Rock back.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Next year. I'm excited for that.
No, this takes me back to the old NHL games where it was Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk in the booth.
Yeah.
And it was just literally them behind a green screen. It was so good.
Doc Emmerich, one of the
I miss
greatest play-by-play broadcasters of all time.
miss
One of
Doc.
my assignments in one of my college classes was watch a Doc Emmerich game and write down every verb that he uses. And you don't realize how many different verbs that Doc Emmerich would use until you had to watch a full period and write everyone down. It was like 90 different verbs.
He's so good.
He was awesome.
Oh, he's
I love
one of
Doc
my
Emmerich.
favorites.
Well versed.
Yeah, we are getting Round Ball Rock back as the NBA on NBC comes back. That
If only the NBA was watchable.
that SNL skit is still one of the best ones. Basketball. Gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. It's a great one. John Tesh. Anyway,
That's good. Let's do a next week. Let's just do a segment of you just recapping your favorite SNL skit.
let's do it.
That'd be great.
That'll be our question of the day.
What's the best SNL?
What's the
skit?
best SNL skit, and can you reenact it out loud? Anyway, let's go to our picks. Yesterday, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, game 1. What a performance on the mound for Tennessee. That was why am I blanking on the guy's name?
Liam Doyle.
Liam Doyle.
There you go.
Liam Doyle was awesome yesterday. He had 10 strikeouts in the first 4 innings. Vandy made a run at it. Brody Johnston hit a home run in the 9th to get it back to 1, but could not pull off the win. And game 2 coming up later today, 4 o'clock first pitch, 3:45 pregame right here on 102.5 The Game. Who we got? Does Vandy even up the series and force a rubber match tomorrow, or do the Vols take the first 2?
I mean, I've been telling you this whole time. It's going to Sunday as a rubber match. So, with that being said, I think my answer's obvious. Vanderbilt.
You're going Vandy?
Vandy. They're gonna. I think they get it done. I think it'll be similar to yesterday's. It'll be low scoring, a lot of pitching duel, But I think Vandy pulls this one out, and we find out who's taking it all tomorrow.
I think overall in this series, I think Tennessee wins the series, but Vandy gets the job done today, 5-4. It'll be a high scoring game. I think they're keeping the pitching, the good pitching for Sunday, maybe. I don't know. I'm torn. I think Tennessee might pull this one out today. I'm switching my pick. I'm gonna go Tennessee 6-3. That's where I'm
Interesting.
All right, so you've got Tennessee taking the series, Vandy trying to salvage one tomorrow. I'm going to go Vandy. I think Cody Bowker hasn't been great in SEC play. I think he's due for one of the outings like he had early in the season in non-conference. So I'm going to say Vandy gets the win. I'll go 5-2. Vandy gets the win. Jake Wallman.
So Tennessee has to go out and prove to me that they can win an SEC series, because I think it's
Lost
about
3 straight.
yeah. Texas A&M, they go to Arkansas next week, LSU, and then there's one more in there that I'm forgetting. But I mean, and it's the game 2. Oh, Kentucky, yeah.
There you go.
It's the game 2, the middle game of the series, where they've seemed to have struggled with pitching. Marcus Phillips is on the bump today, and every time I watch him, I feel like he just doesn't get the run support. And the winner of game 2 today will decide which way the series goes, obviously. I want to go with my heart and pick Tennessee, but they can't. They got to prove to me that they can go out and win a series.
So Jake Wallman going Vanderbilt.
Is this the first time
It might
ever?
be.
Say
As much as I
hear it.
hate to say it, I got to go Vanderbilt today.
Wow.
This team does not have the senior leadership that they've had in the past few years.
This is a first.
Breaking news.
You can
here
mark
on
it
4's
down. Where's
Company.
Ian?
Yeah, mark it down. Jake Wallman guarantees that Vanderbilt wins
I don't
today.
think he guarantees.
No.
it.
I don't guarantee it, but
It's
I mean,
spicy Saturday selection.
they just can't.
Can we coin that?
Sure.
Is that ours now?
Should we change weekend picks to spicy Saturday selections?
Yes.
I like it.
Let's do such a
It's a
thing.
little
I like it.
flaming, but
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
It's-
I get it. They've lost 3 straight SEC series. They got to prove it to you.
Yeah, and
so we
as-
got
As much as the offense has been there, the pitching hasn't. Like
So
last week at LSU, they just got lit up.
Maybe a high-scoring game for Jake Wallman today. So we got 3 on Vandy, 1 on the Vols. Next up,
and the guy on the Vols isn't always the guy on the Vols.
That's true. That is true. Jake Wallman did not pick the Vols today. First time ever. Caps and Hurricanes coming up later today. Game 3 in Raleigh. Caps took game 2 to even up the series. Who takes game 3?
I'm going to go Capitals today. I think Alex Ovechkin is going to have himself a day. Capitals are the best team in the East. I don't know if you knew that, but they're going to be good. They're going to come out with a fire. It's in Raleigh, you said?
It is in Raleigh, yes.
Okay, then I definitely think the Capitals go in and steal it. I like Alex Ovechkin to have a goal. I like TJ Oshie to have an assist today.
There you go.
I'm on the Carolina Hurricanes. I think this is a statement game for the Hurricanes to kind of say, you know what, this is our series.
I'm with you. I'm going Hurricanes. I don't know if they win the series, but I think it's going to be jumping in Raleigh. I'll go Canes, make it 2-1. Jake Wallman?
Yeah, I'm going to go Canes as well. I think it'll be a packed house. It'll be crazy.
All right. Quickly, wild card picks. Does anybody have one yet?
Yes.
Nick Frazier, go ahead.
Yes, I do. I'm going to, this is later on the 11th, but I'm going to take the Florida Panthers to even the series with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I like that.
I think that's a fun series to watch. I still have Florida going back-to-back. I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup again, so we'll see.
I am going to go with the Boston Celtics. I think they've gotten a little unlucky, to say the least, in the first 2 games at home, blowing 20-point leads in both games. I don't see it happening again. I'm going to go with the Celtics getting back to 2-1 in the series in the Garden today, although I think that is going to be an electric atmosphere in New York, but I think Boston gets it done.
You know what? I'll take Kentucky to win the series over Oklahoma. They squeaked one out yesterday, 4-3. I think they may lose today, but I think they take it tomorrow, and I think they get a little bit of a resume win to help them move towards the tournament.
Jake Wallman, wrap us up.
So the Braves have been doing this interesting dance with 500 where they can win 1 or 2 games, get within a game of 500, and then they lose the game that would get them to 500. They lost last night, so they win today over Pittsburgh.
All right. Jake Wallman on the Braves, and that wraps up the show. Coming up on the Game Nashville Sports Network today, again, Vandy baseball at Tennessee, 3:45 pregame. Then after that, you'll have the NBA playoffs, Timberwolves and Warriors on ESPN Radio. Sounds are on 94.9 at 6:20, and the Nashville Cats on 93.3 at 5:30. That does it for us. For Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, I'm Jake Lyman, signing off. ESPN Radio up next. Enjoy your weekend.
Peace.